Hi, everyone. My name is Snow, and I'm a part of the Human Resources team here at Leader Creek. I've been with the company since 2018. I started off as a processor my first few seasons, and then I moved up to recruiting and human resources. So I feel I'm very happy to be here today with you guys. I feel really lucky to be with Leader Creek. It's been an amazing experience to be with them all throughout college and continuing on afterwards. So today we're just gonna go over some information about the company. So I'm going to share my screen so everyone can see this presentation. One moment. Okay. So this will be a short presentation, roughly 10 minutes. It'll just cover some basic information about our company. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A to talk about any questions anyone might have or anything like that. So summer positions with Later Creek Fisheries, very, very exciting. So just to start off, some of the highlights of working with Leader Creek. You do get to visit the state of Alaska. We're located in remote Naknek, Alaska. So it's an opportunity to see a new part of the country, or if you live in Alaska, to see a new corner of Alaska. You get free room and board the entirety of the time that you stay with us. This includes housing and meals and break snacks. We do your laundry for you. So everything's taken care of. It's a chance to really actually save up money, which you do really easily because you work a lot of overtime, You are working over 100 hours a week for several weeks in a row. So you get the chance to really, when you don't have any expenses whatsoever and you are working that much overtime, you make a lot of money, which is a wonderful opportunity, particularly for me when I was a college kid. Huge help in paying for my tuition every semester. It is a very specified time frame. We only operate during the summer. So you get the chance to come up, make a lot of money, and then go back to whatever it was you're doing. Particularly if you're a student, this is a great schedule, but also in a lot of walks of life, it tends to fit in really easily. And then you do get to meet new people from all over. I know that myself, as well as a lot of my coworkers, have made lifelong friends up there. You meet people from all over the country, even potentially internationally. So you get the chance to just interact with so many types of people that you never would have expected to meet before. So those are just a few of some of our favorite things at Leader Creek that are there every single year, no matter what. So just a little bit more about who we are. So Leader Creek Fisheries is a producer of wild Alaskan sockeye salmon products in Naknek, Alaska. That's the little drop point that you see on the map to the right. We specialize in producing premium fresh frozen boneless fillets. So every summer we invite about 400 people up to our plant to work right there in Naknek, Alaska, and be a part, of course, of the Leader Creek community. So we do operate every single summer, no matter what, because the salmon come back every single summer. So it's a seasonal position that only operates from the months of June to August. You do have to transfer up to our facility in Alaska to be able to work there, but we are one of the best companies to work for up there. We've been around for about 20 years, and we do produce the highest quality sockeye salmon fillets. We pride ourselves on having an all refrigerated fishing fleet and making sure that we're focusing on quality and safety are our top priorities. Safety would be our #1 priority, and then making sure we have the highest quality. So that's a little bit about who we are. And then why we're hiring. So like I said, the sockeye come back every single year to this specific part of Alaska. It's one of the last wild salmon runs. It's the last salmon wild run in the Pacific. So it's very concentrated. They come really, really quickly for a very short period of time. So as you can see, the average run, 36.9 million fish for the latest 20-year time period. That's a lot of fish all at once. So when we get up there, we're working 24/7, processing as many fish as we can, as fast as we can. We still can't keep up with how many salmon there are. So there's a lot going on. We do work very closely with the state of Alaska Department of Fish and wildlife and game, so that we can make sure that we're following protocols to make sure that we're not overfishing or anything like that. Our fishermen pay close attention to that, and we're all in communication with each other to make sure that we are doing the best thing that we can for the salmon population, because it's in all of our interests, particularly the salmons, to keep coming back every year. So it's something that's been going on for quite some time now, much longer than even Leader Creek has been there. So again, once the fish hit, they hit hard and fast. So we work as much as we can, which is why there's so much opportunity for overtime. As for who we're looking for, this job is not easy. Again, when we're running at full capacity, the plant runs 24/7 and employees work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's over 100 hours a week, which will last several weeks in a row with no days off. So that can be exhausting. You have to be willing to get out of bed and come to work when you really don't want to. Definitely takes a strong work ethic. It also requires a really positive attitude, because you're working very closely with the same people every day, and you get to know them really well. But it's important to have good teamwork skills, but more importantly, that positive attitude. So you look forward to seeing everyone every day instead of not wanting to work with the same people. So as far as specific skills go, nothing is required. We do all the training on the job. Your supervisors are right there working alongside you on the line. So no specific skills required. But again, we just need you to show up with a positive attitude, a good work ethic, and some flexibility to work with the fish and see what comes their way. As for where you could be working, so we have several different departments. The fish start in the fish house department. That's where they first enter, and that's where you're on the slime line. You're gutting the fish, you're beheading the fish. It gets pretty grimy there. We have the fillet department, a very cold department where we trim the fillets, pull the bones out of the fillets. Upstairs in vac pack, you could be packaging the product, working with the vac pack machines. Vac pack stands for vacuum pack. It's what seals the fish before they're frozen to keep them particularly fresh. And then we have the packing department, which is the photo that you see here. That's where we work with the frozen fillets to get it boxed and weighed and shipped out all over the world. They're working a lot in and around the freezers, another very cool department. So just kind of to give you a general idea of what that looks like, no matter no matter what department you're in, you can expect to be standing in the same spot on a conveyor belt. You'll be doing a pretty repetitive task, very cold, very, very wet for the most part in any of these departments. So yeah. This is going to be a brief introductory video just to share a little bit about Leader Creek and who we are and what we get to do every summer. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. Hopefully audio and everything is working just fine.
My first impression when I got to Naknek was, wow, this is really isolated and out there. I knew I wasn't going to have cell phone coverage, but I didn't anticipate liking that much. I really loved being separated from those devices and being more plugged into my day-to-day life.
It was very interesting to learn about different cultures and see everyone kind of interact and mix with each other. So that was pretty cool.
And I liked the way that camp was really eclectic. It was not super uniform. Everybody was just so nice and so welcoming, from like first years to returners to all the employees.
My first impression of walking into the plant was a bit of surprise, because I've never worked in that sort of environment before, so there was a lot going on, which made me a little nervous. But after doing a tour of the plant and then knowing where I'd have to report for my department, it's amazing how routine that became.
It was different. I'd never been in a factory setting or been inside of a plant facility like that, and it's just a lot of moving components, a lot of machines.
Being part of the Leader Creek family means having friendships that are outside your age group, outside of your ethnicity and nationality and experience.
Met friends I never thought I'd meet and share a really unique experience that I don't think many people are able to experience in their lifetime.
Working at Leader Creek has made me ready to accept any challenge.
The best part of the Leader Creek adventure for me was working with so many people and having like such a big group that you were a part of, and just, you know, feeling the camaraderie and like the teamwork of so many people and everyone working for like a common goal. It was really cool just to see the unity of so many people.
So yeah, just a little bit about Leader Creek. Quick side note on that, we'll touch on it later as well, but that video was shot pre-COVID. So everything you saw was prior to some of the safety measures that we have in place for that, which I'll touch on in a little bit. So just a few more details as far as travel goes. Like I mentioned earlier, you do have to relocate to our plant in Naknek, Alaska, but luckily that's really easy because Leader Creek does provide round trip airfare from anywhere in Alaska out to our plant and then back to that same location in Alaska. Or if you're coming from the lower 48, we provide the round trip flight from Seattle up to Alaska and back to Seattle. So it makes it super easy as far as scheduling and flights go. As you can see, that's where they're boarding. It'll probably be a smaller plane than you're used to. Very exciting. So travel is made super simple. So like I said, quite a few changes since COVID-19, of course. Safety is our number one priority, and we do prioritize the health and safety of our employees above all else. So some of the policies that we've adopted the past 2 seasons remain in line with CDC recommendations. These included having a closed campus, only authorized personnel was able to leave. Part of this is not only for the safety of our own crew, but we do join the Bristol Bay community every year, which is very, very small. So this is for their protection as well as ours, because we care about the community that we work with. All employees also had to practice social distancing, wear masks at all times. So if you take a look at this photo, all of the masks and buffs that you see employees wearing were ones provided by Leader Creek, along with the other personal protective equipment, the hairnets, the earbuds, the smocks, the gloves, and things like that, but including the masks and buffs. This is in packing, which is a little bit more of an active department. They're moving around quite a bit. So in other areas where you're standing on the line in the same spot, we did install plastic partitions between employees, again, to increase safety. This is one department where you don't see that just because they are moving around a lot more. But again, we do take safety very seriously. And so this has been at the forefront of our minds, especially these past couple seasons. So worth mentioning that we also had a brief quarantine and testing schedule for incoming employees prior to coming up for the season, along with chartered flights, again, to just try to increase safety measures at every step. So the 2022 season is still a few months in the future, and we don't have all our policies concretely yet, but you can expect to probably see very similar things. Again, we want to make sure that we're staying up to date with the best guidances from the state of Alaska and the CDC, and we just want to make sure that our employees are going to have a safe and successful season. That's our number one goal. So if after kind of hearing some information about us and you're interested in applying, go ahead and just go to www.leadercreekfisheries.com. We'll pop right up. First thing you'll see on our page is this Join Our Crew Apply Now button. Go ahead and click on that, and you'll click on Seafood Processor 2022. It takes about 10 minutes to submit a complete application. Certainly doesn't take long. And a recruiter is in touch very shortly after that to conduct a phone interview over the phone. We do contact you both by phone as well as email. And so it's really important to make sure that your contact information is up to date, because we will be reaching out by both of those means. When you're filling out your application, it asks for your 2 most recent work experiences, making sure that those references are up to date, and aware that we might reach out to contact them is also really helpful in the application process. That typically increases your chances of having a successful application. So again, make sure you're checking your email, that your email's up to date, and that's all good to go. And it's a really smooth application process. As well as we are on all of the social media. We have our website, which has a link to our blog, which we'll talk about. We have Facebook, Instagram, we have a TikTok and a YouTube, and if I'm not mistaken, a Twitter. We're everywhere. So definitely feel free to follow us on social medias. We send out important updates that way, news about upcoming events, as well as some giveaways and some raffles. So you could have the opportunity to win some cool swag or prizes or anything like that. So definitely feel free to check us out and see what else there is in inside the Leader Creek community. Along with that, at the end of every season, we do send out an employee survey just to get feedback on what we can do to improve. Again, we do care a lot about our employees and making sure that the experience they have is the best one that they can. So this right here that you see to the left is some of the feedback that we've gotten on that survey. One person commented, "I loved working here. The community is really what makes this whole experience. It's very hard work, but Leader Creek works to put everyone in the right mindset." I didn't mention this earlier, but as part of the human resources team, I could be one of the people interviewing you after you apply. It could be one of my coworkers here today or on the recruiting and HR team with me, and then I'll be up there in the season as well. We're with you every step of the way. Again, it's a very community-oriented company, so it's certainly something that we want everyone, including ourselves, to enjoy. And then these are just a few examples of what you might find on our blog. That's a great place to check out Leader Creek. If you have any questions about what the season could be like, you could read past employees' experiences, hear about what it was like for them, meet some people from Leader Creek. There's some fun pictures, there's some fun stories, definitely. Feel free to take a chance and check that out if you're interested. We've got quite a few blog posts up. And then if you do have any questions, again, we're always available. And in this case, I'm going to stop the recording right here. And so we can go from there. So thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon. Oh.